The Floor Magazine, Detroit, baby, we out here. You see what's going on, we activated, we ain't playing no games.
Yeah. An example of that is that shit's going on right now in Tee Grizzley. So for the last almost a month, Wack 100 and his whole bitch-ass crew of exposures, his whole little thing, they've been going at Wack 100 when that folks who did last year. He's going at Tee Grizzley right now, right? This motherfucker was so bold as to push and promote paperwork that he knew for an absolute fact was fake in the attempt to try to destroy a fellow Detroiter. You didn't see any of the Detroit A-list rappers using their platform to speak up for it. And I know some of them say, well, oh man, that was some bullshit. I know it's fake. I ain't had to say nothing. My nigga, Wack 100 has created a platform and he's weaponized it and he uses it for his own destructive end and for the destructive end of the people who he works for. Vis-a-vis the Birdmans and the QCPs and a couple of other motherfuckers who he has relationships with. So if you're an A-list rapper or if you're one of the talented 10th, right, and you see somebody who's not from Detroit tearing down, and listen, we can infight all day. I don't give a if I don't like Street Lord Wine. I don't give a if I don't like the Al Nukes of the world. I don't give a if I don't like this nigga or that nigga or this nigga or that nigga. When it comes, when I'm expressing how I feel, it just is what it is. But I'm not going to let motherfuckers who are not from Detroit tear down Detroit artists and influencers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my voice. I'm going to use my little bitty ass Pontiac voice to defend all of what I know as, because Detroit is it's the base.
For sure. And you definitely been a defender, man, to go into, the Tee Grizzley situation. Like, you've been the forerunner for it, even so much so as DJ Academics gave you a call, in which I was surprised. I wasn't too surprised because I know the work you've been putting in, but still, for you to be on that platform, he called you. And ever since then, looking at the comments, people feel like you the only person that can really challenge Wack. You know what I mean? I'm talking about and really stand on it and be efficient in it, man. Like, why do you feel that people, feel that way?
Well, I mean, just for background purposes, bro, when Wack 100 first released, when he had his minions, when he put out the call, according to his own statements, he sent this so-called paperwork about Tee Grizzley being a snitch. He sent it to 15 different podcasters. He sent it to Trap Lord Ross, even though Trap Lord Ross, a little bitch-ass lad, said he didn't. He did. He sent it to the City Nashes. He sent it to Adam. He sent it to Vlad. He sent it to Nutty Jake. He sent it to all these people because he was trying to throw a rock and had his hand. He tried to pull a flea flicker on a nigga. He wanted them to break it versus him breaking it because he has family ties here in the city of Detroit. Wack 100's family are the police. They are in Inkster and Ecorse, River Rouge, in Southwest Detroit. He has 2 or 3 police officers in his family and 1 fed in his family. So when he started to attack T, I saw it. My YouTube streets, shout out to Boogie, Baby Doll, Uncle Juice, Detroit Gossip. I didn't even see it because I was on the road. I was on the road coming back from Dallas. And when they sent it to me, I couldn't call. They texted. I was on an airplane, so I got the text that came through. As soon as I landed, I went right to work on this shit because when they sent me the so-called the document that was supposed to be a police report, I instantly recognized that shit as a fake document. How I know? Because I've been getting in trouble my whole life. I've been in courtroom since I was 12 years old up until right now. I was in court yesterday. So I know what an official document looked like. When I saw that shit, I can tell by the structure, the format, the language. All of that shit was wrong. So I called T, and then at first T was like, bro, I don't give a about that shit. T was like, bro, I made $3 million in 90 days. It's like, Dawgface, I don't give a about what Wack 100 is saying. You know what I'm saying? He go, this is what he does. I don't take him serious, right? But see, that's the problem. when you have people who are being backed by people who are really in the industry, who are really trying to sell a narrative, right, and promote a narrative about you, before you know it, you'll wake up and you'll look up.
And this would be on your jacket, like you not
You'll be
caring.
in the shade room.
Yeah,
right?
trying to explain some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'll be trying to explain shit to your sponsors, to your endorsement, to your labels. You'll be trying to explain that you're not this or not that to motherfuckers, other A-list celebrities who may shy away from you, from producers who may shy away from you because these allegations, these rumors is on you, and you ain't, in your mind, you ain't defending them. When a motherfucker don't defend itself against allegations like that, then motherfuckers actually assume they're true, especially when you look at where it's coming from. Wack 100, right? He's been allowed to get away with the shit he's been doing, right? And then he's been hitting and missing. Some of the things that like when she said about Zay Osama. Zay Osama fought back without thinking about it because this is my brand.
That's true.
But a lot of times, motherfuckers don't take YouTubers and podcasters serious, right? I think this whole thing with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, Charlie Kirk's defense and Charlie Kirk's criticism, it took place on YouTube more than it did on actual big box television stations. It's the YouTube pontificators and the commentators who really opened up the conversation because we don't have the restrictions that broadcast television has.
Yeah.
We can really open up and talk about it and get into it, right? So the whole Charlie Kirk situation was handled in the YouTube streets. So I talked to T. He's like, man, I don't give a about that shit. A couple of days went by. So Wack, what he does is he starts his whole campaign in Clubhouse. And he uses his bitch ass Clubhouse trans motherfuckers to formulate, to start up the whole campaign, right? And it goes from Clubhouse to Instagram, where he gets his minions, his so-called spies, to drop the shit to warm it up on Instagram. Once he leaves Instagram, he goes to his Exposure podcast on YouTube. And in his mind, hopefully, once he gets into his Exposure podcast on YouTube, and the Clubhouse people are working and sharing it, and the Instagrammers are working and sharing it, his hope is when he gets done with the podcast, the exposures, his hope is that he would have garnered enough attention about whatever the subject is to get called up. A call up for Wack is Adam and No Jumper. And then from Adam to No Jumper, he has a peripheral plan. He'll send it to Seti Nash, right? He'll send it to Chin 90 Jake, right? He'll start to send it to his whole devil of clout chasers and ghosts and all them, and they ain't working out that shit behind the scenes. So before a rapper or actor or for somebody, before they even know it, bro, you got a whole campaign of motherfuckers saying shit about you, and then that shit gets into the algorithm. Once that shit gets into the algorithm, it's an avalanche. It's a snowball effect, not an avalanche. It starts to snowball, and then you'll find yourself behind the curve when it comes to defending some shit that you could have dealt with from the very beginning. So once Wack hit Adam 22, he called me. He said his words were, I can show it to you. No, he texted me. He said, you see this shit? He said, I can't believe that this nigga really pushing this absolute lie. I said, T, bro, you content. I said, it don't even matter if it's true or not.
And T is legit content. Like when you really think about it, even though, like, see, T, the way that he branded himself is really remarkable. Mm-hmm. Like the different pockets that he in and how he been able to pivot as a Detroit artist. Because if you really pay attention to Detroit artists, if it's not just music, it's kind of difficult for them to
branch off. And
he was able to do it. So whether it be the video gaming, whether it be the jewelry, whether it be, he's content. If you can get him,
He definitely, I mean, anything, a fucking Billy Goat is content.
Yeah.
Right? But when you get a big fish like Tee Grizzley who has his hand and so many different things that are all progressive, not just music, because T's impact, I don't even think people know how to measure his impact on the world of entertainment now. Because streaming is entertainment. Kai Cent is at the top of the entertainment food chain. So he does a lot of things. He's in the filmmaking now that people don't know about. He got a bunch of different shit going on right now. So in my mind, just to bring it back into focus, In my mind, there was no way I was on fire. He was like, man, that shit, dog. I don't give a fuck that shit. Nigga, I just made almost, bro, he FaceTimed me and he's like, shared the screen. Look at his bank account. He's like, look at this. It was like 4 deposits that happened that dropped into his account. Like in the last, like it wasn't even about 60 days. It was like about 4 deposits dropped in that bitch. It was like almost 3 million. So he said, I'm absolutely not concerned with what the he talked about, right? But I said, listen, bro, I had to tell him, I said, bro, it's not just about you. It's about the city of Detroit. This motherfucker ain't just attacking you. He attacking the core of what Detroit is all about and the progress we made as a city. We fought for this shit. You know, this shit that we see happening now with our artists is what the Cheddar Boys and Rock Bottom and Street Lords dreamed about. Is what Smiley dreamed about. Is what Awesome Dre dreamed about. Is what Isham, the commercial success and exposure worldwide, is what all of the legends, the founding, right?
Yeah.
They dreamed about. There's no way we can let a bitch nigga like that take advantage of you and use you as a whooping post and try to present you to, it's like trying to, no way, right? So, when he dropped the Adam shit, I had to explain it to him. He was like, cause a lot of times when you an artist like T, like a Vez, like a Peasy, like an Eminem, like a Royce the 5'9", whenever you were an artist, whenever you were a Babyface Ray or a Skillet Baby, whenever you one of the, what I call a talented 10th, right? Whenever you have, when you've risen to that level, a lot of times they tend to overlook, right, some of the small things. And before you know it, those small things take on a life of their own. And something that you looked at as nonsense or irrelevant last week, especially in the world of YouTube now, some shit can be like totally irrelevant to you today. And by next Monday, God damn, it's on the floor. People are calling you, asking what the f is going on.
Yeah.
That's how powerful YouTube is. So I think most artists, especially artists here in Detroit, they don't understand how powerful this shit is and how influential it can be and how much of a problem it can be.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm trying to explain all this shit to T. So once this bitch ass nigga Wack went to Adam and went on there with all the fake shit and had to shoot her. So T like, this nigga got a whole campaign. He presented the fake paperwork that you can clearly see is fake. He has all his people saying it's real. Even when it's being challenged, they all try to tell the whole, and the general person in the public domain, they don't know what paperwork look like. All they see is a name, and they read the narrative, and
it sound halfway right.
Halfway right, and they run with the shit, right? So T was like, this nigga interviewing this bitch ass nigga. He said, dog, hold on, let me show you this. So he sent me the texts from the shooter guy. He sent me the videos. This nigga shooter, the biggest rat in the history of gangland, besides Wack 100. He the biggest rat motherfucker besides Loose Cannon too. Another rat ass bitch. These niggas, he taking cops, pointing out, giving act. So we have videos that shooter was telling us. He just tell the videos that people have saw on academics. We have other videos, right? Cause he's come back and said, well, I just named anybody name. Those names weren't real. You a motherfucking lie, you bitch ass nigga. That's why I call him Tony the Tattletale. You a motherfucking lie. He gave him addresses that were verified. And when they caught him, the motherfuckers don't know that they caught him. They caught him in person. They caught shooter in person. And he was doing the same shit, getting the information. It wasn't like he was behind no phone on no FaceTime call. They caught him in person. They pulled down on him in person. I got the video on my phone right now. Right? So the whole thing is once T saw that and he saw that, okay, these things really launching a campaign against me, right? We tried to figure out on the top right. Well, me and him, we didn't have to figure it out. Right? So I was in Miami doing Rolling Loud 4-5 years ago when there was a conflict without getting to the details of the conflict.
For sure.
But I was in Miami and T know I was I was there. So when YB got spanked, motherfuckers are, and I'm gonna let them attribute that spanking to, right?
To the other people. Yeah, let them have that.
He got spanked though, right? So YB got a problem with Detroit and Detroit artists, especially T. And because T is still cool with Lil Durk, right?
And
so Lil Durk is in jail.
Yeah.
Right? Lil Durk is in jail. So a lot of motherfuckers who were loyal to Lil, because it was Lil Durk or YB for the most part. And then it was Durk's friends and family and crew. And it was YB. YB didn't really have no crew except Quando, because he was on lockdown in Utah for 4-5 years. Right? So now YB is out moving and shaking again. And Durk seems like he's down for the count right now. The music business, the entertainment game is fickle as a motherfucker. So of course, motherfuckers, they're like strippers. When one group of ballers walk out of the strip club, she told this nigga I love you, sitting on his lap dancing. He leave, another guy come in, telling him the same shit. That's how the world of entertainment is. So when T seen that shit, like, man, get their ass together, dog. So guess I released my first video with the YouTube streets where we broke down the paperwork and broke it down line by line and went through it, right? They heard it. Because Wack exposures, his spies follow my motherfucking page. They follow my, now I had to create another YouTube because some niggas here reported my YouTube again. So I had to create another one, but they followed me on social media so they knew what time I was on. They reported it back to him. So when they reported it back to him, that's when they launched another campaign and he didn't drop the paperwork, but by the time Adam had pumped him up enough to where now he's Vlad radar. Now he's
on the second leg of his tour.
Of his rat tour, right? So now he when he go on academic, with the phone call, he dropped the same shit. So I'm sitting back watching this shit like, I got the paperwork, right? I know based on what was said in the first paperwork about the officer Hamilton coming to interview T, and Officer Hamilton badge number 321-9842. I whipped through that to spell that. I reached out to the Watch organization, which is an organization that's formed after the Rodney King situation, the Rampart situation where the LA sheriff and the LA cops, dirty as a motherfucker, run around doing all kind of dirty ass shit. I reached out to them to give me information about the officers who they said by badge number name was responsible for writing that report. No such thing as an officer. There's no officer Alan S. Hamilton. They only came up with Alan S. Hamilton because it was just Hamilton on the paper. They just put that shit on Alan S. Hamilton thinking nobody, because he is a real officer named Alan S. Hamilton.
Yeah.
Alan S. Hamilton is a deputy chief of police.
Yeah.
Not a deputy in the sheriff department, not a deputy sheriff. He's the deputy chief of police. He only answers to the police chief and the commissioner. Right, so at what time does the deputy chief of police go to a motherfucking house and interview a motherfucker about a fucking burglary? And then how many times would the deputy chief of police write his wrong badge number down on the police report? And then Detroit, everybody in Detroit went to the joint. We all NBOC babies and fed babies around this bitch, right? So he said on Wack, he said that Tee Grizzley pointed out Tony Johnson, a.k.a. Baby Shooter, a.k.a. Tony the Tattletale. He pointed him out in the photo lineup, right? When the police present you with a photo lineup and they are presenting to you, so there are suspects and there are non-suspects in the 6 people, in the 6-pack, right? You have 3 up top, 3 at bottom, right? When they present you with the lineup, right? If you identify somebody on the lineup as a person who did whatever to you, or to somebody else.
Yeah, you got to confirm that with actual paperwork. Whether it's circling, whether it's checking, whether it's
you have to circle a picture. You identify it, then you have to initial it, and you have to sign, because that becomes a legal affidavit. As you pointed out, they don't have that. They don't have the 6-pack. And then when you think about it, when they ask you, well, why isn't this shit a part of public record? Why isn't it a part of discovery? Why isn't it a part of the Freedom of Information Act? Why isn't it a matter of public record? Why can't we go get it since it's an open, active investigation? It's not sealed. It's not a motherfucking RICO case. Why is it not in the public domain?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, well, the detective, only people have it is the detective and the detective and then shooter and his attorney. Since when does a detective hand deliver some evidence about them being pointed out for a crime to the motherfucking lawyer.
And you know what?
And the fucking
you know
suspect.
what? And that's another thing too, because and you don't even necessarily have to go bit by bit, because number one, you already done that.
Yeah.
The people in the comment section, they already crowned that to be false.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
You already did your due diligence with that. But what I kind of want to get people to understand, like, bro, we from Detroit. Even in the video, T made a comment. He said, the people that did the rob, like, I'm not even worried about them. I ain't tripping on that. I want to know who was the person that, that. So I think what people fail to realize, and I ain't trying to put nothing on T, but just as a Detroit state of mind, bro, don't nobody get no satisfaction at y'all being locked up for a robbery, home invasion.
Hey, listen, so
that ain't no satisfaction for T, for y'all to be in jail. Like, what is he getting out of that?
So listen, bro. Wack 100. This campaign is all about trying to set T up to get T to speak about criminality and to get T to make aggressive statements that will aggravate state, local, and federal law enforcement to the point to where they launch an investigation of him of some sort. Right? Because you know the average rap, see, with the one thing T ain't is stupid. Right? And the one thing he said, dog, I ain't finna speak on that shit, period, because this nigga trying to put me in a trick bag on some big U shit. Right? He said, you get him. Right? Get their ass together. And I'm already primed for this shit, right? So the next day, I get a FaceTime phone call. It's T and his academics on FaceTime. So he said, so act like, okay, Dawgface, you know what I'm saying? So T like, this my man Dawgface, you know what I'm saying? I've been knowing him before I became famous. Dawgface explained to academics how that paperwork is fake, right? So I broke down how the first paperwork they distributed was fake. And then I asked, okay, on your show, he said he sent you page 1 of a 3-page document, but you didn't put it up. We didn't see it. What is it? So academics sent me and T the paperwork. I looked at it. It's a Court of Appeals document. So I started pointing out, I said, how the fuck?
You ain't even been charged with
We ain't even been charged yet. How we it's the 2nd District of the State of California Appellate Division.
Yeah.
I said, look at this shit. I said, okay, so then I shared my screen. I went to the California State Appellate. I went to the State of California Appellate website.
To punch in
and I punched in the actual docket number.
Nothing showed up.
When I punched in the doc, we on FaceTime, sharing my screen. I put the number, I think it was 23CCF 01424 was what it was, right? I put that motherfucker in there. It came back, no information. No information found. At that point in time, academics like, you a bad motherfucker. He said, I'm gonna bring you on my show later on so we can get this shit straight once and for all. So that's why, and that's how I got to the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he called me about 5 o'clock when he was live streaming, and what happened is what y'all saw.
For sure. Yeah, man. Wack, usually he able to kind of like handle. He ended up getting off the phone.
He hung up. He didn't just get off the phone. He hung up. You know why? Because in the face of truth, in the face of dealing with somebody who has the ability to properly articulate himself and not let himself be buffaloed and ran over, he can't stand up. First of all, because you're trying to stand up with a lie. You standing up with false reports. You standing up with a whole narrative that you know ain't true. I wasn't finna allow that shit. Period. As simple as that. And I even apologized to academics for having to do that, because that wasn't my plan. My plan was just to present the evidence and disqualify him as a person whose word is credible in any way, shape, or form. And my plan, because I know he like to get into a back and forth. I done been into a million I done been into 4-5 back and forth with this nigga.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't have to holler to make my point. But with a bitch ass, girly, feminine ass nigga like that, right? He's trying to buffalo a motherfucker with that rah, rah. Bitch, I'm the king of rah, rah. I'm the king of rah, rah and a nigga to death. Bitch, that ain't gonna work with me. I'm the rah champ. Bitch, ain't what no way. Bitch, come on, bitch. And you lying too? Yeah. You ain't finna get away with that. No, the only thing can stop me if Wack would have did what he did when I was on his podcast. The only thing would have stopped me. was muting me and all the rest of that shit. But when Adam allowed me to make my point, right? The hollering wasn't because it was just me. He was the one. He's nobody. He ain't got no money. Blah, blah, blah. He's from Pontiac. But I thought you just said you don't know nothing about me. I'm a nobody. I'm insignificant, right?